episodes of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the world. Yes, the world, the entire world, the whole universe, everywhere but America. Today, we are not even going to talk about America. We don't give a flippity flop about what America's doing. We talk about that all week. So let's talk about the whole world. That's right. It is the World News edition of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, because apparently America didn't do anything silly this week. That's a lie. We all know it. But someone else actually exceeded our tomfoolery and became the greatest of the world news creators, and that is people from other countries. So let's give a big rousing round of applause for the people from all over the world that's not here. I'm your host, Steven, joined as always by the amazing, the wonderful, the now deaf, Smashley.
You can't. Oh my God, what is there? Yay! We all got notes from Kelly.
Both of
By the
us
way,
do.
Kelly,
Yeah.
your handwriting. I wonder if you can diagnose if you've got ADHD based on handwriting.
You can diagnose if someone's got gonorrhea based on handwriting. You can do anything based on handwriting. It's true.
You heard it on the internet.
It's what
Have your girlfriend write you a note. She may have gonorrhea.
That's what we used to do back in the day, you know, before we had blood tests and blood work.
Susie, could you please just sign your name to this parchment before we engage in coitus?
Why do you think they wrote so many letters to each other? I mean, they could have sent an email, but that was just too difficult. So now it's all in but you just go, yes, would you
gonorrhea?
Would you please write this down? We're looking to find out if you have syphilis. And they're like, yes, indeed, he does have syphilis. I noticed by the way he made his F's. They're quite curvier than they need to be.
I feel like Kelly's handwriting looks super similar to mine in that there's no slant. The letters look like
straight.
big old tatas when somebody's running without a sports bra. They lean this way, and they lean this way, and they lean this way, and they lean this way.
So what would
and then
you
the
diagnose?
line spacing.
What would you diagnose Kelly with based on her handwriting?
Well,
Boobs?
It's so similar to mine. Like that's
you
what
are
I
a
was,
female.
so I was just wondering. No.
Creatives, people that are left-handed, make the best decisions.
Kelly, are you left-handed?
She probably is. All creative people are left-handed. I'm not left-handed, so that tells you something right there.
Like you're creative. This when does this light get so bright? There we go.
Now you're blue. It's much better. You're blue. Dabba dee dabba die.
This is more my actual skin tone.
You can see the blood is poured out of your face and is collected in your heart, where it's the greatest, and you have such a good soul.
I never want to say false. The greatest ever again.
She's mostly on fire. Ashley's mostly on fire.
Butthole's on fire.
Remember when anytime you wrote yourself into fiction, you always had fire around you? You were like fire hair or fire
redheads,
death.
Man. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be a redhead my entire college career. My nickname was Red for half of it.
Yep. You did dye your hair reddish for a long time there. I think. I don't really know. I can't see colors. That's not true. I can see colors.
Far away. You were in Florida and I was at the top of West Virginia.
True. Did I ever tell you about the way my buddy Dave found out that he had color blindness? It's pretty great. So he's sitting at the computer with a buddy of his, and they're looking at there's some kind of T-shirt popped up online that is the colorblind test, and it says F the colorblind in the bubbles. And they go, look at this thing, and Dave goes, "What are you guys talking about? It's just a bunch of dots." And they broke down in tears, laughing so hard at Dave's inability to read the sign, and that's how he found out he was colorblind. He was like 23.
How did he not know he was colorblind with, red, green, yellow stoplights?
I have no idea. I'm not sure what color blindness it was, but that's how he discovered. He's like, "Hey, I found out today I'm colorblind." It's like, what are you talking about? It's like they showed a thing and it said F the colorblind.
That's amazing. What
I
episode
thought that was
are we
pretty
on?
good. Yeah, it's Kelly says it makes her happy. I think it's 5:34, right?
Yeah, okay.
We're one episode ahead with staring at goats now, because we did an episode last week of that. We didn't do an episode of this
You know what would be awesome if your limited edition podcast had been, I don't know, limited edition.
It really, hey, that would have been great. The value would have gone up. We could have sold it for more. Because I mean, that's the
That would have
podcaster's goal,
also
right?
meant that, I could have left my house and seen other
No, you're
people.
not doing that ever for the rest of time. And when you do finally get to leave your house, you'll hate everyone around you so much that you'll never want to leave again.
I don't hate anybody. I'm past the hate everybody stage. Like people went through this. Like everybody's just doing their best. Everybody should f off and die. I don't know. Like I'm even past the blase stage. I don't know. Like can you
The
just
give up
exist?
stage,
Yeah.
the completely soulless existence stage.
Yeah, maybe maybe that's where we are. Ah, Steven, I want a jungle jumperoo. Did you
What is
see the
that?
link?
No,
Did you
what's
not
this?
see the link that
I
I
don't.
sent you?
I don't read y'all's text messages.
You're a jerk. You're a jerk. You're
Oh,
my
I know what
only
those are.
friend in this world and the only friend that I could talk to. And you're like, F you. I don't read your stupid text messages.
No,
Fine,
this is
Steven.
great. I want to get you one. I bet we could build one
Fine.
out of PVC pipe and an old tire.
Is that
I tell
fine?
you what, you want one of them? I can make one for you right
I
quick. Get me old tractor
will.
tire and some PVC pipe. We'd have one of these liquor split. Won't cost you no money. That's the
I
way I
don't.
feel.
One of my friends has it for her kids, and she's like, "This has been worth every cent." And then
That
she
is
has like, yeah.
the stupidest object I've ever seen. Why are kids entertained by such silly things?
Would you not jump on that?
I'd rather jump on a trampoline.
Yeah, but no, because then you can't double bounce people, and like you can have multi people on it, and you can put a little and you can make it into a ball pit, and it can go outside.
Look at how happy all these little idiots are jumping on them stupid.
As seen on Nope, Nope, Nope. The site won't even load. Oh, Kelly! So there's actually a baby bust. So I think they were saying like it was is a number. It was 100,000 less babies next year. So I talked to my midwife girlfriend and she was like, "Yeah, we've all been talking about that." But I guess with like people losing their jobs and people being unsure about like the world and stuff, people aren't having babies. And also one of the other factors was people being at home with their spouses so much that they realize they hate their spouse and they don't want to have more babies with them because
We
they
aren't
want like
meant
an
to live
extra
like
strap.
this. We are not meant to
No.
live like this. We are not meant to surround even people we love. We're not meant to be around them as much as we're around them. It breaks everything that we're built to do. Everything. We are meant to spend time apart so that when we do come home, we're like, oh, nice to see you. I haven't seen you today. Instead, we just get annoyed that somebody went to the shower and dropped one article of clothing on the floor all the way there and didn't turn around to pick it back up. Like, oh, look, I found a sock. What's this? Another, there's pants. Oh, underwear and a shirt. What? If you're going to put anything in the dirty clothes basket, this is not what we're meant to do. We're not meant to live here because when you're not around somebody for every hour of the waking day, you can
Could miss
forgive those
them.
moments. Yeah, and you forgive it. I remember my uncle Billy, sage wise Uncle Billy. He told me the night before I was getting married, which is kind of late for this advice, but he was like, when you're dating, you walk around with your eyes wide open. You take in everything, figure out what's going on. When you get married, eyes half shut. You start to ignore the things that you can ignore because you're not going to do anything about it because people don't change. You just have to figure out what you can handle. I thought that was really good advice. That means when the
Yeah.
clothes are all over the floor, you look at it and go, aw, that person just can't do it, just won't. And that's okay. I'll love them anyway. Or they just won't put the cereal box back in the pantry ever. And I'm going to do it every day until I die. And that's great. You know, I can handle it.
I've I've had to in order to not have a mental breakdown with all the BS that's happened this year, I've had to just go, You know what? I like waking up at 5:30 because I get to spend time with my little teeny squish monkey, and he's adorable and he's happy and he's not trying to make me have a bad day. He just wakes up at 5:30 and he's not trying to take away my me time. This is my me time with the little thing. And then, the dishes and the laundry that pile up. I'm just like, what the fuck
Oh,
ever? I mean, it's not like I'm going outside. I don't have to smell nice. Jacob doesn't complain. He's gonna make another with me.
oh,
Meh.
I broke the swears. I didn't know Sub was here watching you. We gotta swear minus. We're up. You're in a +1.
Shit.
Wait, oh dang nabbit, I had just fixed it.
No.
Ah,
Yeah. I
there.
was like,
There you go. You're like, I'll catch up, no problem. Oh, by the way,
yay.
I want to publicly shout out the one and only Hawaiian correspondent Hammer Dwarf of Legion of Dorks because he contributed to the rep bot that we run in our Discord,
He fixed it.
twodorks.net/discord. I wrote the bot to get it to work. So it's now written in a new language and it works more effectively. Hammer Dwarf went into my open source project and submitted like 5 additional changes to make it better and make the code cleaner. And he's the first person that has ever contributed code to a personal project of mine, and it made me so excited. I was so
Oh,
excited.
that's cool.
I've all these little projects sitting out on the internet, and not a one's ever been touched. And Hammer's like, I'll work on it. Boop a doop a doop a doop a doop. And like made 5 amazing little patches. Thank you, Stealth King, for the cheer. 200
Oh,
cheers.
thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really cool. So I really appreciate Hammer Dwarf for doing that. He's a patron. twodorks.net
He
/support.
it's you talk about Hammerdorf in the room. Got hot.
That's because Hammer Dwarfs in Hawaii, where it's warm. Speaking of warm,
Stealth. I don't know how to code. Concentrate on making a baby.
that is
Stealth's
like
gonna have a
coding with
baby.
DNA.
If
That's
you
fine.
guys quarantine, maybe our babies can hang out.
Yeah. Babies need other
Mm,
babies to hang out with so they can
People
poke each
need other
other in the
people.
eye.
We're like freaking macaquays. We
We
need
are.
to
We're
be
the
around.
humans. Social is part of the what is it? McCarthy's triangle. Who's the guy that made up the you need to get down, you need to boogie, and you
Macaquay's
need to talk to each
triangle.
other? No, this the
That's
three
a
the
social
three
work thing.
you need to
Yes.
eat, you need to sleep, and you need to boogie.
Shelter, food, and Maslow. There. Subject.
Gosh, why is he so smart?
Jeepers. I don't know.
He's a reincarnated like 40-year-old man. He's not
No,
a real
like
person.
I know 40-year-old men that don't know what we just asked.
See, here we were complaining about school, and Sub is just like rocking it. But
Sub
he was bored
hated
to
school.
tears. He hated
He
school. It's
was.
a good point. It's
He's
not
like,
a
please, Jesus, get me out.
yeah. So what do we need? Self-actualization. That means to learn that you're a person. Esteem. What's that? That means somebody needs to pat you on the butt and say good job. But only a consensual butt pat. Just do consensual butt pat. Love and belonging. You need to boogie. Safety. Don't walk under ladders. And physiological needs like eating and sleeping.
Yeah.
It's a pyramid. It's like a food pyramid, but not owned by the dairy industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
So oddly, some of us are for. I know. I feel like Steven said that for so long that he doesn't realize how close we are to that.
To what? To
To being
what?
40-year-old men.
Oh yeah, that's
You
a
know
good
what I mean?
point. I used to be like 20, but no, I mean, look, 40 is the new 18 or whatever. No one
I've never.
grows up anymore. No one
No.
grows up. We're just
No, there's
all
no need to.
we're all just playing around. Yeah, we have no natural predators, you know. I sometimes I wonder what it would be like to just turn 22 and just decide that now I'm wearing suits and a hat like my dad. Not that my dad ever wore suits and a hat. But you know what I mean? Like there was a time when you got old and then you started putting Vaseline in your hair and, being a grown up. But we don't do that anymore. We just go F it, video games. And I'm not saying
Video
anything wrong with it. I just wonder
Yeah, that
why
is.
we've transitioned out of like
Because nobody
accepting
has
the.
to leave their MFing house, and you don't know your neighbors anymore, so you're not like responsible to society anymore. So you're just like, meh.
I think we all just got to the point where we decided, why am I worried about the stuff that we're worried about? Why don't we just do what we want as long as we make the money, get the house or the apartment or whatever, take care of the people around us? Who cares? And I think that's why I'm a broken parent, because sometimes I let Sam do stuff and I'm like, other people don't let their kids do this, but I'm like, I can't think of a logical reason to make Sam do something that doesn't make sense to me. Because if I get challenged on it, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. You know what, man? You do that. You do what you did. Like tonight, we were writing a book. I'm writing a book. Sam wanted to write a book. And I was like, let's write a book, homie. So we sit down with our paper and he wanted to staple the spine together. And we sit down and he draws all over. I said, well, what's this book called? He said, Mario's Stupid Day. And I wanted to be like, now, does
Same.
Mario have to have a bad day, a stupid day? But I was like, you know what? Nope. I'm going to let him write this story. This is his story. I'm going to let him write it. So I wrote down Mario's Stupid Day for him on the book. And then we got to the next character. He drew a big old circle. And I said, what's he say? He says, what the farty McFart? Farty McPeterson? Fart, fart, fart. And I was like, I could tell him that that's probably not something that he would say. But this is Sam's story. So I wrote down, what the farty McFart, fart, Peterson, fart. That's basically how the book went. It went, what the barn arn giggity gook gook, and I wrote that down too.
uh Sam was not enjoying being made to do 6 - 1. I was like, Stephanie, nobody wants to do 6 - 1. Logical people can walk up and be like, oh, 6 - 1 is 5, right? Like, okay, great. But if you're Sam and if you're Ashley, and if you're anybody that doesn't want to do the thing, you're just like, I could be doing things. Oh, what's 6 - 1? Who gives a shit? What's 6 - 1? 4, 3, 2, 1? Is it 7, 8, 9? One of those is right, and then we can move on.
And he knows how to do it because he's done it before. He's done that math multiple times. It's just like, just tell me what it is so we can move past this. He'll go, doggity bog, 6, 0, 0, nothing, nothing. Oh, look, a bird's nest. Is that bird's nest out there? That's a bird's nest out there. I'm like, well,
I told
you're not
Stephanie
wrong.
we were you just testing for ADHD. I was talking to Stephanie and she was like, Sam's really smart. He just needs to apply himself. I'm like, never, ever, ever tell him that again. Ever. I will cut your other knee in half if you tell that him again. I'm like, that makes it his fault. He will grow up going, why am I not like, why can't I do this? Everyone else can do this. And it's not his freaking fault. Never tell someone, oh, you've got so much potential if you could just live up to it. Die in a fire if you tell that to somebody. Die in all the fight. Say it about their behind their back, whatever. Don't tell them because then they feel like it's their fault and they grow up sad and miserable. And
Are you
when you
having
name
some feelings?
yes.
You need to
Stupid.
speak to someone.
Every teacher that told my parents or me that I had potential that I wasn't realizing, I'm like, I'm trying so hard. I don't understand. This is obviously a default in my personality.
Head
Nah.
gamer, you want to call in real quick? We'll just pause the show and let these feelings out.
Spite, yes. So
We'll just go ahead and. Oh, dude, I was reading about, or I listened to a podcast, Dad Chronicle, Alex Albisu's show. I was listening to it, and he had a fellow by the name of John Jagger on the show, who was on another podcast tangentially related to all this. John Jagger's awesome. He's having a kid, so he was on the Dad Chronicle, and he was talking about when he was a kid, he hated to read, and they would be like, "You have to learn how to read." He's like, "Oh, I learn how to read." And they got him on Hooked on Phonics. So he had to do the Hooked on Phonics tapes to learn how to read. He said, I hated those tapes so much. He said that I forced myself to learn how to read so I would never have to listen to them again. And I was reading on a college level at 3rd grade. It was like
are you
so done.
shitting me?
No, he was like, I was so done with those tapes. I could not handle it. So I just went ahead and learned to read better than anyone could ever read at my grade. So I never had to hear it again. I was like, that's a pretty good motivator, just not wanting to do anything, not wanting to do the thing. Fine, I'll do it so good, you'll not even believe what happened.
Oh, that's so I hated reading. I hated reading because the books were stupid. I didn't give a shit about the eels or the dogs or the spots running. I'm just like, this is dumb. This is dumb. I feel like you should give kids a variety of stuff, like at different
Yeah.
levels, even if it's not their level, like a little below, a little until they're just like, oh, okay. Because
Find
most
something worth
people aren't,
reading.
yeah, most people aren't going to be miserable at that age reading unless it's something stupid, and they're not gonna realize it. That's the only thing they've been exposed to at that point. Meh.
I loved Dr. Seuss books. I was the most generic every kid you'd ever meet. I watched Sesame Street. I like Dr. Seuss books. I basically read at my grade level my entire life. I have met every minimal expectation set of me ever. My mom's like, as long as you do your best. I'm like, yeah, doing my absolute best. Getting A's. Yep, that's my best. My best is getting the A's. Got a 4.0 GPA. Could you be doing better? Oh, heck yeah. You'd be doing a lot better. But they're not asking that of me. So, would you like to be in gifted class? What's gifted class? Well, it's more challenging work, so you feel more fulfilled. You said more challenging work? No, no, I don't want to be in gifted class. Why would I do that?
So
That's
you
stupid.
feel more fulfilled. Every 9-year-old wants to feel more fulfilled. They want to jump on the jungle jumperoo, Stephen. They don't give a
I think
shit about feeling fulfilled.
I think that's the way my mom explained it because they were pitching it to him, and they were like, they want you to be in gifted class. I was like, what's gifted class? She said, I think it's just more work. I was like, well, no. Why would I want to do that? That's stupid. Why would anyone be in gifted class?
I
So
think
I
it
didn't take it.
essentially is more work.
It's just, well, I mean, it depends on the school. Some schools' gifted classes, we don't know what to teach you because you're ahead of everything. So we're just going to let you play on computers for about an hour a day, which is
Oh, sure.
what it
Did
ended up being, I think.
did anybody do No Shave November?
Yeah. Can't you tell?
Like for the whole month? Travis did.
Did you not shave your November?
I mean, I used to shave my eyebrows because I would get like random eyebrow hairs, but I'm like, they're so pale right now. You can't even see them. And nobody's staring at my eyebrows anymore. Like,
No. I like how you're committed to this I don't see anyone, so F the world uh
I don't, as long as
plan.
I'm showered, I don't like if I'm clean, I don't care. Like, I'll probably put on makeup for the charity stream tomorrow, but
First year with the kids, yeah, that's basically the standard. Make sure you're showered and eating, and then everything else, whatever. This is survival. It's an era of survival. It's not really a time to get everything set up. Like if no Christmas decorations this year, okay, whatever.
oh my, so Jacob talked to one of his super smart brainiac female colleagues, right? And Jacob's like, "Well, we haven't decorated for Christmas, and Tater Tot's into everything." And and she's like, "Well, if he ends up with pine needles in his poop, then just know he got into the Christmas tree." And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I sat there and thought about it for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Does she work full time? He's like, yeah. I'm like, does her husband work full time? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so realistically, she has to keep the baby out of the tree for maybe an hour and a half out of every day. The rest of the time, the baby's not near the tree. And he's like,
Ah,
yeah, good point. I'm like,
there you
telling me
go.
to put up my Christmas tree and spend 12 hours at every effing day making sure the baby doesn't eat it. Screw off.
It's kind of like keeping a cat out of a tree. It's really just, it's more work.
I don't
Anyway,
give a crap if the cat
I was gonna say
dies.
something before we went on this tirade. What's tomorrow, Ashley?
The um It broke. It's Friday. It's a charity stream.
I love that
There was
you.
so it there was it stopped up.
It's the charity stream day. Yes, everyone, tomorrow is the day we do our annual charity stream. I have a list of games right here that we're going to play. We're going to play some Good Job in the morning, Hearthstone. Stephanie's participating this year because our child is old. So he's
I'm
like,
excited.
she can do other things. She's going to play Hearthstone. Me and Sam are going to stream some Super Mario World around lunchtime because he said he really wants to play Super Mario World and then maybe Super Mario 1 and then Super Mario 3. I'm like, okay, all of these sounds great. He's gonna use the Switch rewind feature every time he dies, and I'll never get to play. We're gonna play Red Dead Redemption at 1. Ashley and Sub are playing Sea of Thieves at 3. I think. Who else is playing with you guys? Christina's playing with you guys, right?
Isn't Kelly too?
Is Kelly playing? No, Kelly can't be there tomorrow, right? She had to do a thing. I think
Sub
Shelly's
said-
out.
Sub and his winches.
It blocked that word, Kelly. It auto modded
I know.
the
I
word
was
winches.
so happy.
Oh, New Orleans was
Winch.
canceled. Okay, so you'll be there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Then we've got more Hearthstone. Graveyard Keeper probably for a couple hours, and then Ashley and Jake we're gonna play something around 8, and then we're gonna end the stream with Phasmophobia. I threw that behind me and it came back in front of me.
That was pretty cool. It's also Kelly and Zafo's anniversary. I don't know how many numbers.
Great.
Were.
Several. Take the age of their kids, add like 2 years. Probably it.
Unless they had them before the marriages.
Yeah. How long have your parents been married? All World
Always
Edition.
my age.
All World Edition of Horseshoes and Herrings. So anyway, yeah, be here tomorrow all day. Just whenever you pop in, there'll be something. If you can't be here and you still want to donate, twodorks.net/toys is already live. You can donate now if you want to. Prime the pump if you feel like that's a thing you want to do. And it'll be there tomorrow when we chime in, and I'll be able to say, thanks for the ahead of the time donations by these people. So it's gonna be fun. I look forward to it. But for now, let's do a factoid. According to astronomer Fred Hoyle, if you got into your car, turned on the ignition, and drove up the sky at 60 miles per hour, it would take just 1 hour to get to outer space. So it's 60 miles above the ground is where space begins.
My vehicle doesn't have that.
Doesn't have that feature.
The spirally that got caught in the back of my throat.
Don't choke on the plants.
It's so gritty. I was gonna make a joke.
Good. So yeah, don't die. It's bad news. Yeah, I appreciate that space is closer than we think. Good fact.
Space is close. Please, someone quote that. The quotes work.
What?
Space is closer than we think. Air is all around us.
No. Look, there's a difference between space and not space. Once you get outside the blue part, you're in space. But as long as you're in the blue part, you're on Earth.
Right, but how long does it look blue from where you are?
It looks blue till you get to space.
Yeah, but if you were on Earth and you could see somebody in space, like if they were just biggins, like would they still look blue to you even though it looked not blue to them?
What? Okay, wait. Space with who looks blue? The
Okay,
space people.
So, person on Earth, right?
Yeah, they're tiny.
Then this is me. I'm on Earth, and you're like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna go to space and it begin. So Steven gets really big, so you can see him 60 miles away, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh, I'm in space now. Except I'll do this just so the camera can see. And
Yeah.
this is 60. And so wait, Steven's bigger. And then I'm like, oh, you're still in the blue part. You're like, no, I'm not. I'm in the black part. Like, how do you know which is right?
Oh yeah. Whoever is saying that they're in this part that they're in is right. If you say that I'm in the blue part and I say that you're in the dark part, I don't know. You're looking through the blue part. Right. Zafo says you're looking through it. While I would not be looking through the blue part. I'm looking down. If you look out horizontally at space,
I'm broken, Steven.
when you're that high in the sky, you can see the blue because it's the atmosphere. There's blueness. Is the sky blue?
We gave Groove a seizure.
The parts are relative to the relative observational perspectiveness. Yes, of course. That's simple. I knew that.
And they're sober.
Look, did I ever tell you about the time that I was at work and for 4 hours we argued what it would take to run a pipe from the moon to the Earth from minerals.
I like that so much.
We
I feel like that
engineered
should just be the rest of the show.
we attempted to engineer a pipe that would stick to the moon and stick to the earth, and how fast a train would need to go as it followed the moon around the earth like a gimbal to get the
Oh, that's
minerals.
fascinating.
There wasn't much to do. I think it was like a Friday after Thanksgiving or something stupid, and we were just like, what are we even doing here? This is dumb. And we worked in the basement. We had a whiteboard. So what else are you supposed to do other than engineer nonsensical things?
Maybe that's what Snowpiercer was. It was the engine that kept going. So
Perspectitude.
I know, I really like that. Can we get a shirt that says Perspectitude?
I don't know. Where's Scott?
But like in Hylian to make it even more confusing.
Yes. There you go. If you're going to have a word you made up, you might as well do it in another language that uses glyphs. A glyph language.
What was the new Star Trek movie where they had okay, so I feel like a space elevator would have to be like a horse wiener. It would have to be just like really long and retractable to work.
Sure. That's the best seagull analogy you could use for what a space elevator is. We're not going to be able to build one if Elon Musk puts all his satellites in low Earth orbit. You're just going to be crashing through them anytime you need to go into space. It's going to look like Wall-E out there, you know?
How
just
many
space
satellites
trash.
does he want?
1 billion. I don't know. It's probably a lot. He's a mad scientist. I'm pretty sure they're all going to combine into a giant laser and just burn his enemies.
Did you see the Gundam that they made in Japan? They like made a legit moving Gundam.
Yes, I did see that. It walks.
It's so
but it
cool.
Doesn't fly. I want it to fly and shoot missiles.
Well,
that
Gundam
would be
Wing,
real
man.
life.
So unexpected error.
Yeah, I look. The quote bot's broken. Okay, one thing at a time. Repbot works. Quote bot still needs help. Where is Hammer Dwarf when I need him? I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna modify all of the code.
He's in freaking Hawaii, still in the sunlight. We should probably do a show so I can go to bed. So
we have to get up and do a charity stream tomorrow. So this is world news.
I'm totally.
Why is it so much louder than it usually is? Sorry, can you hear anything? Hello,
yeah.
hello, Ashley. Japan puts its post-COVID tourism hopes in the hands of a giant robot. Nice segue. If you're unfamiliar with this show, Ashley and I don't read the notes ahead of time, so this is completely happenstance.
I appreciate what just happened.
Yeah. An 18-meter, 60-foot Gundam robot that can walk and move its arms was unveiled in Japan on Monday, and it hopes amid hopes that it will help invigorate tourism hit by COVID-19. The robot is modeled after a figure in Mobile Suit Gundam, a Japanese cartoon first launched in the late 1970s about enormous battle robots piloted by humans. The series spawned multiple spin-offs and toys and gained a worldwide following.
Gundam Wing forever!
Yes! It will be the centerpiece of the Gundam Factory Yokohama, a tourist attraction that opens on December 19th in the port city. Chief Cabinet Secretary Katsunobu Kato told a news conference, "I hope this will lead to stimulating tourism demand and revitalizing local areas." He also said, "Of course, we now have the coronavirus issue. I want people to tackle endeavors like this while making an effort to prevent the spread of infection." So there's a walking, talking, I don't actually know if it's Rocket, it might be Rock'em Sock'em. But yeah, so there's a baby that needs the help and actually had to leave. And I'm going to pause this and we'll be back when she returns. I'm just going to pause that. But you and I can sit here and talk. How are you? Great. This happens every now and then. So yeah, charity stream tomorrow, dude. What game are you guys pumped for? I think I'm really excited to play Red Dead with Jacob because that went real well last year. And I think we laughed more doing Red Dead streaming than I think we laughed, at least when Jacob and I were on the rest of the time. Because there's nothing like the bugs in that game that just absolutely kill you. I think we're going to try and get to some bar fights. Yes, Sea of Thieves with Ashley and Sub is worth being here for. Ashley, Sub, Christina, and Kelly. because it is a good time. It's sub singing pirate shanties, and they're gonna have a blast because Ashley's not gonna play it right, which leads to absolutely insane moments. Oh, look, it's a Jacob.
Hey, hey, hey.
A
What are you
Jacob has
doing?
arrived on the scene. A wild Jacob appears.
Yes, that is very true. So,
Yeah.
are you ready for the show tomorrow? The stream tomorrow?
Am I ready?
Are you
What is
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I haven't touched Good Job. I'm playing that in the morning. I have no idea what I'm getting into. All I
Oh,
know
it's
is
gonna
that
be
it
so
looks fun.
fun.
Yeah. It's this year's Goose Game, I'm hoping. Because
It's
Goose
gonna be
Game
fun.
really was awesome. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be what are you most excited for?
Phasmophobia at the end. I
At the
downloaded it, got
very end.
everything started. Yeah, I think I got everything ready for that. So I'm looking forward to everybody just jumping in and enjoying the last couple hours together. So
I think I'm
like
gonna
looking for
trade
that.
off
Forward
with
to that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna trade off with Stephanie a couple times. Like I'll play a game and then she'll play a game. Then I'll play a
Yeah,
game and she'll play a game because she's pumped about the ghost hunting stuff. And I'm like, yes. I need to let her give it a go.
there you go.
Yeah.
Um, I'm definitely stoked about Red Dead because that's going to be fun. Um, as always, I mean, Red Dead is Red Dead. Oh, by the way, let's play it on PlayStation instead of the computer because
Because you
I didn't
didn't
have
get
time
your
to spend a whole lot of time to play this last week.
I had a
So
feeling that that was gonna be the case. So yeah, I'll
yeah,
fire it up. I never deleted it. Because I
good.
knew that we'd get back into this thing. I don't
You
even
have
barely
this
remember how to
voice.
play, you guys. So
It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna be running my horse into Jacob most of the time.
It's gonna be great. And I could even set up my phone as a camera on Discord and then just talk to you on Discord through camera and then use PlayStation if you wanted to have a camera. But if you don't,
I
I'm
can
good with
do
that
it.
too.
I
Yeah,
can
it's okay.
do it. I would love to do it. I think I had planned to do it.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
I'm ready.
And then yeah, I mean, this year's going to be a little bit different because I'm used to being a lot more involved during the day. And this year with child and having to work half day tomorrow, I'm not going to be as involved. So I'm struggling a little bit from that perspective because normally I'm kind of all in on this, but yeah,
Well, I'll take care of it. Don't you
I know
worry.
you
It's
will.
in good hands. I'm going to make
I'm not
all the
saying it's
money.
not in good hands. It's more of this is something I enjoy doing, and not being able to be a part of it sucks a big fat
It
wiener.
does. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm frustrated because I don't get to input more into it.
Well, they shouldn't be you shouldn't have to go to work on your intended PTO day for one thing. Um
Yeah,
that's a pooper.
it
So,
is.
yeah. But hey, man,
But there's a good reason why I've got to go into work tomorrow, so I'm pretty stoked about that. My for those who don't know, I think only one or two of you guys know, I got a pretty big promotion at work, so they're announcing it to the building tomorrow, and after that, I'm sure I've got to take over several projects and do a few things. So
congratulations. You've been promoted. Here's more work.
exactly. So
Yeah, as
that's
if you weren't stressed enough. Here's some more stress. Thank
yeah.
you for your contributions. Please,
That's
God, don't
probably
leave.
the reason the I was gonna say that's probably the reason the last couple of weeks have just been so damn hard. Is because I'm trying to pick up jobs, my new job, and then trying to also transition old jobs, and it hurts.
That's a pain.
It
That's a pain in the
hurts.
butt. Thank you, Kelly, for the 150 bits, and everybody giving Jacob the shout outs.
With
I
the
mean,
bits.
it's not, he doesn't necessarily deserve it, but it's really great that
Yes.
they're doing it out of pity. I'm
Yes.
kidding.
Pity
Jacob
is
totally
it's a
deserves every.
wonderful motivator.
Jacob deserves every bit of promotion he's getting. So now he's moving up from sweeping the floors in the basement to sweeping the floors on the first floor.
I know.
It's
I'm going big
major,
time.
major responsibilities. Moving on
I'm
up.
going big time on this one.
Oh shoot! I need a moving on up sound. I don't have that.
Move it on up.
Hold on, we got this. Hold on,
By the
Jefferson
way,
Airplane.
so when you guys were doing the Jolly Jumper and you did your best D Wayne, I bet we could make a PVC pipe and a tire iron and make sure that there's big, huge tire to hook together with a tire iron. And we can make that thing in no time. Look at split. Jeez.
It's true. Look at that
Heck yeah.
thing. You
It
need
is.
an old tractor tire and you need some PVC. You
Have
can
you
have it
ever
built.
looked at how expensive a tractor tire
Oh
truly
gosh,
is?
it's
They're
unbelievable.
obscene expensive.
That's why you go
And
stealing
so
from the CrossFit gym.
I know, but here's the funny thing: if you ever go out to like an old farm or something, go get one of them there tractor tires. I'm like, that's like a ridiculous money. Go get one of them tractor tires. Yeah,
Let's see if Harbor Freight has a tractor tire.
Harbor Freight has everything,
How
right?
much you think that would last?
About a week.
Holy
and a
crap,
half.
does Amazon have a tractor tire?
Oh, please tell me they do.
Amazon
It's got
sells
to come
tractor
free, right?
tires. They sell tractor
No.
tires. Yeah.
What's the size?
What is this? This thing is one's 10% off. Hooray, Black Friday deals. Carlisle Farm Specialist Tractor Tire 816. That sounds small. I don't really know what the measurement is. No, I guess it's huge.
Huh?
110 bucks.
How much is it?
110?
No.
How big is this tractor tire? I want to see it in real life. No, it's not that big. This is tiny. Somebody put it on their van? What what on earth? It's like some sort of weird dude. But this is a Tater and D Wade special. Do I have I don't have a browser scene. I can't show you. But that's yeah, they've got it on the back of like a truck with a camper top. It's stuck a big old tractor tire on the back. That's great.
That is we need it. We need that in our lives.
We do. That's it. That's the next Tater and D Wayne project. We're gonna just get a tractor tire and make something.
Yep.
Don't know what. Here, I'll share the
We're gonna
link.
turn it into a CrossFit gym. Except our tractor tire is only gonna be this big, and we're gonna flip a tire that's this big. Hey, Dayway, let's go out and work out. We'll flip some tires.
Tater, I heard about this thing called CrossFit, and as far as I know, you just go out there in your backyard and you just chuck tires around together till you throw up. That sounds all
You
right.
ain't gonna throw up tossing tires. Have you ever seen those little lawnmower tires? There ain't no way you gonna throw up on them lawnmower tires. They're like this little big. It's a
Them little guys, like in pedal car. You remember them pedal
That's what I'm
cars?
thinking.
Getting
Yeah,
there.
I remember the pedal
You
cars.
get in them pedal cars, you just pedal your heart's content.
I bet you can make a real good soapbox out of that, and race it down a hill. Put them tractor tires on there for the lawnmower. I bet you
race it down the hill and then stand on it and start preaching.
That's right.
Soapbox car.
Soapbox car.
That's what it is. A soapbox.
Did you know that my preacher at my old church had a big soapbox? He would stand on it every sermon.
And just fuss?
And he would fuss. He'd give us his 3 points and say, "This is what you need to do. This is what you don't need to do, and this is how you need to praise the Lord for it."
There you go. 1, 2, 3. You know
3
me.
point.
Pass the
That's
plate.
right.
Pass the
That's
plate.
right. Yeah, I know. I wish they'd pass the plate a little sooner so we can get home and get some of that fried chicken in us.
You know it,
'Cause
yeah.
I tell you what, every Sunday afternoon, Grandma makes the chicken. Every Sunday afternoon. Did you know that used to? I mean, Ashley's family used to get together every Sunday and have Sunday dinners. Sunday.
I've only ever heard of that in fairy tales and movies. I've never known that to be a thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I dated this girl in college once, and her dad was county commissioner of one of the counties in eastern North Carolina, and he had a big, huge tobacco farm, and that's what they would do. They would have these big, ridiculous Sunday afternoon dinners after church, where the entire family would come and all the field hands would be there, and it was just always a party on Sunday afternoon.
That sounds exhausting.
I know. I think it would be, but no, they loved it. That was
If we were lucky, we would swing through Wendy's on the way home from church.
Yeah.
It
was Burger Fi. Remember the days that we would stop at Burger Fi?
Yeah, more recently, the Burger Fi run was pretty great. I don't really want to put in a whole lot of effort on my Sunday dinner. I'd just as soon go and get something from somewhere and treat my day with a day of rest. Shoba Shabbos.
That's right. That's right.
I don't work on Shabbos.
Roll on Shabbos.
Don't roll on Shabbos. I can't even drive a car. That's pretty
You
good.
know, my favorite part of that movie is whenever at the end when they're throwing the ashes off the mountain and it just comes and blows back right in their face. Donnie!
It's so good.
I love that movie.
It's so
That
good.
movie's fantastic.
I remember showing that to Stephanie. I was convinced that she wouldn't like it because you watch The Big Lebowski and it has a flavor that you've got to be ready
Oh,
for.
yeah.
You've got to dig the flavor. And I'm like,
It
I just
tastes
don't
like
know.
a good white Russian should taste whenever you're drinking
Oh
it with
man.
just a touch too much vodka.
I need to go downstairs. No, but I was convinced she wouldn't like it. She loved it. Loved it. Laughed. Thought it was hilarious. I was like, well, if you can watch this, then I've got more things to show you. We got more movies that we need to crack open
That was
that I
her
didn't
gateway
think you would
drug.
like. That was the one. Well, we watched Fargo before that for the first time. It's the first time I'd ever seen Fargo. And
Fargo.
it was good. It was good. I was like, I said, it's not, it's a Coen's movie, and you've liked every other Coen's movie we have watched. So you need to watch The Big Lebowski just to see it. So we can decide if you really just love Coen Brothers movies. And she loved it. So we're moving right along the old Coen Brothers movie watching list. Yeah.
That's good. I love the Coen Brothers stuff. There are very few Coen Brothers movies that I don't think I like. Actually, I can't think of one right now.
Well, there's several I haven't seen. Do you ever watch Burn After Reading?
I don't think I watched that one.
Okay. Well, I got Blu-ray of that one. I'm coming over.
Let's do it.
Doing
We'll have another Django
chicken wing.
Unchained wing night.
Yes. Yeah. And what oh brother, where art thou?
Oh yes, we did a lot. Yeah. See, we need to make wings and watch another movie. When are we doing it? Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and figure that out. Don't ask me now. I can't commit to plans. I have to think on it for a little while. I have to consider it.
Well,
yeah.
think on it.
Travis, you've seen Burn After Reading, right? He probably has.
Travis has seen everything.
That is not true.
Movies. I think anything made after 1980 he's seen, and then I think anything from like 1960 to 1980 it's likely that he's seen. I think you have to go back pretty far to find movies that he hasn't seen.
That's pretty good. Hey, there's been things. What did he not? Was it True Grit that we talked about that he hadn't seen?
Oh, I'm sure he's seen True Grit.
Yeah, I can't remember which one of us hadn't seen True Grit. Yeah, it was True Grit. He hadn't seen it, so I told him we had to watch it, and that's when we talked about it then. And then I talked about it on I Love That Movie because I just apparently like that movie enough to talk about it on every podcast that'll let me. Just really, really dig it.
Nice. All right, she got Tater Tot back down.
She's done.
He's done.
Rather.
Here we go.
He's done. She's done. Who's done? We're all done. Blade Runner 2049 was good. It was good. I didn't watch. I've only watched Blade Runner once, and I didn't like it. Ashley's back.
Hi.
Hello. Are you ready to keep going?
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
That's okay. That's normal. Here we go. This is a half-hour power. Let's do this thing.
Yes.
Here we go. We're back. Small detour there for a minute, but we're here, and we got through the Gundams. And since it's World News Only week, let's do some more world news. By the way, I turned down the music on the PC so it wouldn't explode your ears.
You did.
Every time.
That was awesome.
See, I care enough most of the time to turn the volume down.
Oh shit! It's my turn.
It is, but we were all willing to wait. It was fine.
Man tells wife his new PlayStation 5 is an air purifier. Wife sells PlayStation 5.
They're so hard to find.
As someone who spent every second that the child is asleep looking for PlayStations for her husband.
Man, they're hard to find. I put one on my list too, and I was like, gotta find it somewhere. Everywhere you look, they're not there. This wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for flipping COVID-19 and scalpers having nothing better to do than sit at home and buy PlayStations.
Is that what's happening? They're just buying PlayStations out and then selling
Oh,
them for 2
the
grand?
scalper situation is a problem. Like for the last 6 months, every graphics card that's come out, every processor that's come out, every console's come out. It's just flipping impossible to get them unless you go to eBay and pay 100% more.
Really?
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Did you guys talk about that on Staring at Goats?
I think we did. Yeah, because we were fussing. But yeah, go to Best Buy, go to Walmart, go to wherever you go. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's one exclusive title for PlayStation 5 right now. One is Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is also out on the PlayStation 4. I don't know why we're all in such a hurry. It's not like something's dropping tomorrow that's like, OMG, it's the number one best play. It's not like back in the day when you couldn't play the newest Super Mario if you didn't get the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And it was like leaps and bounds beyond anything you'd ever seen. Now it's like things still look pretty much the same. We're just increasing frame rates and resolution and stuff, so things look smoother or prettier or better. But you're not like, no one's chasing after the realism anymore. We can get there and it's creepy. So we just,
Ours is just breaking. Like
oh,
the
yeah.
optical drive is breaking, and I'm like, we can either spend money to fix it or just get the new
That's true,
one.
because it will play all the old games. So,
Yes.
why not? I just don't think we have to be in a hurry.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't.
literally I feel like we would have waited if not for because this will be the second time we've had to fix it.
Mm-hmm. And that's a problem.
Yes, annoying. A man who thought he could pull a fast one on his wife learned the hard way that it's also better to tell. What are they, 20? The Taiwanese man told his wife that the expensive new PlayStation 5 he bought was actually an air purifier. The one believed him till a rat died inside the couple's home, and the air purifier did not hide the smell. Once the wife became wise about the ruse, she made her husband sell the PS5. That title is false because
Yeah,
she didn't sell it
she did it.
thinking it was an air purifier.
Uh-huh.
What? Like, when did he play it?
I don't know. Had to have been when she went to sleep. This is not a
Right?
trusting relationship, for one
This
thing.
is weird. Yeah.
This is bad. This is a bad situation that will not end well. For one thing, he felt like he needed to hide a PlayStation from her. For two thing,
Yeah.
she didn't know it was a PlayStation because she's apparently been living under a rock. And then for three
Or has
thing,
a new child.
yeah, and for three thing, she stole or she told him to sell it, which again seems like a bad situation.
Yeah.
You
Apparently, the
know,
buyer showed up to get the game and he said he was met by the sad husband instead of the woman he had spoken with on the phone. Husband told the buyer, "It's my wife who wants to sell it." I went silent after seeing the look in his eyes. I could feel his pain, the buyer said. And then I bought that motherfucker because I want me a PlayStation 5.
on the PlayStation, you can almost see the scene play out. Like he's standing outside the door in the rain while a Sarah McLachlan song gently plays on the piano. No lyrics. No lyrics, just the melody on the piano. And he hands it over, and it's just like that moment of realization and understanding between each other. That's what I
Yeah.
see. I see it play out very, very like really, and then the
It's
then
very
the title
sitcom-y.
flashes Sony PlayStation 5. And you're like, oh,
Don't lie to your wife.
don't lie to your wife. That's also a good advice. Don't lie to your wife. But I really wanted a PlayStation. Well, now where are you? You were in trouble because you said that. I mean,
You got a
hey,
dead
kind of
rat, no PlayStation, your wife hates you, sleeping on the couch.
this. Yeah, your life just went to shambles off of one lie. Look what can
Right?
happen to you. You know what? You
I
come
want
here.
to
You
go to
guys
the
come here for the
PlayStation.
real truth and advice. Not lying to your wife is
Don't
one of them.
lie to me, wife
World news. Deer steals hunter's gun and flees into the woods. I played this game on PC back in the day. Deer
Cartoon.
Avenger. What was that? What was the game? You guys remember the game where you were a deer hunting hunters instead of the hunter hunting the deer? It was back in the age of that redneck Doom game. Redneck Rampage. You guys remember Redneck Rampage? Am I the only
I
one?
didn't get into video games until 64.
Well, this was well after 64. It was just Windows. Deer Avenger. Yes, I played
In
Deer
PC
Avenger.
game.
And you were a deer and you went hunting for people. Because you
Would
were
you stand on two legs with a shotgun? Because that would have made it so much better.
yeah, you did. You had it. Well, you actually had like a bandolier and an AR-15.
Oh, nice. I'm just like hearing the weirdest crap out in this room right now, and I'm like flipping out.
That's cause it's hainted. You got to haint.
This is when I watch Travis out here. Like we normally turn the lights off like outside so it doesn't go into our bedroom, and then I'm like, I'm scared. And then Jacob locked me outside once on accident. That was fun.
Are you sure it was an
Like,
accident? How can you be?
like
How can you be truly sure of that?
like someone's just gonna pee into the AC vent.
That'll get his attention. Oh, we're having our ductwork clean on Monday. I'm
Are you
so
really?
excited. Yes. They bring in a big old diesel truck, like with a diesel powered vacuum. They
Oh
blow
wow.
out and suck out all the dust that's accrued in your ductwork. They run it through all
That's
the
a good
branches, the
thing to do.
trunk. They run it. There's going to be just suction all over the house. We're going to freeze to death for an hour.
Tell them that you've got an air quality test the following day to make
Really?
sure that they do a good job. Just be like, yeah, we, appreciate you guys getting out because we have an air quality test. We really want to get our ducts cleaned out first.
Mm-hmm. These
I'm
folks
like,
were
don't lie to people. Lie to people.
lie to them to get what you want. It's different. It's different somehow. And this is a service. Yeah, because you guys had a duct cleaner come out and then they did a poopy job and they had to come back and do it again.
It was so stupid. We actually like we did have an air quality test coming up, and then the lady she's like, "Come here, I want to show you something." She's like, "You said you just had these cleaned." I'm like, "Yeah," and she opened the vent and was pulling chunks of stuff out. I was so pissed, so I called the company back, and they sent a different team. They sent the owner or something, and they ate its lunch.
They did everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost convinced that this house has never had the ducts cleaned. Knowing the previous owners, I don't know them, but knowing what I've seen of them and how my opinion is not high of their
Yeah.
tomfoolery and shenanigans. That being said, hey, I put in a smart light the other day.
Color light?
Fun. What?
When the lights that change colors?
No, not a hue light. I put in a light switch, a dimmer switch, a smart dimmer switch. I've learned that smart home is really actually pretty easy to do, and I went nuts because I really just want to turn my Christmas lights on with my voice. Um,
Ah!
this is really all I
That's
want to do.
exciting.
My TV talks to my Amazon box. So if my TV talks to my Amazon, I say turn on the TV and it turns on the TV. I'm like switch to HDMI 3 and it switches to HDMI 3. I can tell it to turn my Xbox on and turn my Xbox off. And I thought this was really cool, so I went a little nuts and I bought a bunch of light switches and junk. And I put a light switch in. Fun thing that you need to remember: turn off the breaker to your light switch when you're going to work on it. Because if you don't, you'll do what I did and electrocute yourself while you're trying to put the switch in. And then when you've electrocuted yourself once and realize that that's why your thumb is vibrating, it's because you're crossing the streams. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta remember this is a live wire. Then you accidentally touch the two terminals together on opposing switches and make it go pop, 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 shoot sparks everywhere. And then your lights turn on and off a few times. And then the breaker trips.
You are a 1980s Christmas vacation movie.
Fun fact though, if you do that, the breaker will flip for you, so you don't have to go out to the garage. And then you can work safely without worrying about
Even
it.
you and your dad, man.
Well, my mom is so smart. My mom cracked me up because I told her this story and she goes, "Yeah, that sounds like your daddy. Do it, then think about it."
Right?
she
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
she was like, "I guess you could say that if something real bad happens in the world, we know at least the Roaches and the Adams family will be left over." Uh,
That's not wrong. You guys get all your stuff out now that should kill you.
yeah, it's like, oh well, that was fine. Thank God for safety things like, breakers.
I
Important.
hate being shocked. I hate it. It's like the worst. It's the worst of the worst of the worst. It's so bad. So bad. I mean, some people like it for sexual reasons. I don't. I think it
Is that a
sucks
thing?
balls.
That's a
Yeah,
thing?
electro play. Yeah,
Really? The electric play. You could basically take
electro
you could put
play.
any word you want in front of the word play, and there's someone with a fetish about it. Oh, this guy, he's into
Yeah.
donut play. Oh,
Nice.
have you heard about that dude? He's into car wash
Oh my
play.
god, I want a donut now, but I want it like sans someone that bleep the hole.
You wanna
Yeah, I
put the
want
donut
a non-boned donut.
put the donut on the wiener.
A bonut. A
I
bonut.
never I'm just frequently amazed at the things I discover talking to you.
Bonut.
Deer steals hunter gun. Oh, we didn't even read the story yet. A hunter in the Czech Republic was charged by a deer that snagged the man's gun on its antlers and fled into the woods with the weapon. Police in the South Bohemian region said a hunter contacted authorities to recount the story of how he lost his gun while hunting near the village of Horny Plana. Horny
Wait,
Plana. That's not how you
what?
pronounce that at all, I'm sure. I know some Czech folks. I'll ask them about what they know
No,
about the
no,
story.
it's horny plana. Horny.
The man said one of the hunting dogs in his group startled a stag in a wooded area, causing the panicked deer to run directly towards him. The deer's antlers ripped the man's sleeve and ended up snagged on this .22 Hornet rifle, which had been slung over his left hand at the time. The animal ran off into the woods with the hunter's unloaded gun still attached to his antlers. Police said another hunter reported spotting a deer with a rifle dangling from his antlers more than a half a mile from the scene. Investigators said the hunter was required to report the loss of the rifle under the Czech Republic's Firearms and Ammunition Act. So good. So he reported, a deer stole my weapon. Here's here's my report.
Like episode of H&H has been like a weird like TV show. Like we got the cartoon, we got the sitcom, we got the
You're right. Now we got the Christmas Vacation.
Christmas like the just slapstick.
Yeah. Well, what's the next thing gonna be? We're about to find out. World news. You haven't noticed yet. I've gone ahead and played the world news segue for every story. Guess we're in world news. It's the world news edition.
I did not notice that, Steven.
I didn't think you would.
I like literally didn't.
I see you didn't get my joke. Let me explain it for you for a moment.
No, I think it's G. That's how like that. Maybe that's why I didn't know it was my turn because that never happens.
Yeah.
No.
No. Yep.
No?
You always know it's. Yeah. You never know it's your turn.
Austrian village name F King to change name after unwanted tourists attention.
Unwanted.
Oh no, it's not. It's okay. So I get to say this without getting bleeped because this is the name.
No, you're
So I
gonna get
say
bleeped.
it. No, I get to say it. It's in the notes.
You get to
as
say
a
it,
proper
yes, but it's
name.
going to cost you swear jar.
But no, that's not fair.
I don't know why you expect the swear jar to be fair. Sub runs the swear jar.
Well, so if it's Austrian, I'm assuming the F is a V, right? So instead of fucking, it would be fucking.
I just read that. I read that as Australian for like 3 or 4 different times I read it. I'm like, Australian village, Australian village, Australian
It was
village.
so hard not to. It was so hard. It
Austrian.
was so Austrian. The residents of a tiny Austrian village named Vucking have voted to change its name after enduring unwanted attention from English-speaking tourists, excuse me. Come next year, the village of 100 residents near the German border will be named Vugging.
Okay, so the F is a V in Austrian?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Or German? Are Germans and Austrians, they speak the same thing?
Yeah.
Look, there's some things I don't have to know, so I don't know them. Don't judge me. So
Well,
Germans and
Austria
Austrians both
was
speak
Germany,
German.
Like,
right. When it was
a
Prussia?
couple years ago.
Was Germany Prussia once? How does Europe?
How does Europe cheaply? The EU.
How does one Europe?
I don't know.
I told
I'm stuck on bugging.
I work with a British dude, and he said something was brilliant the other day, and I was like, I really love how you guys from the UK say brilliant when something works out, because we don't do that here. Like, we're not sophisticated enough to use the word brilliant regularly. He's like, well, what do you say? I'm like, I don't know, awesome, great, fine. It's like, I don't, but then I told him, I was like, but I'm from the U.S. Southeast, so I don't really have that big of a collection of words to use.
Wicked.
Maybe in other places they have things to say.
Yeah, I feel like you and I have said awesome forever. Like that's our groovy.
I used to say groovy in real life, unironically, a lot.
I miss chin face.
Here's
Chinny
Prussia.
chin.
There was Bohemia and Austria and Poland and Prussia were all kind of squashed together.
I didn't
There's
know
been a lot of
Bohemian was
changes.
based on something. I just thought it was like
Bavaria. Is it Bavaria? Is that where Bavarian? Is that
Bavarian
a donut?
cream bonut. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
I was alive in the 80s for like a few years. I was barely sentient through most of the 80s.
Yeah, I feel
would-
like the next decade, like after you're 10, that's when you really grew up.
I would consider myself
so
more
we're
of a
90s.
90s kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the 80s, I've watched stuff that came out in the 80s, but I watched it all in the early 90s. So more of a 90s. There's so much German swearing going on in the chat.
Well, so the funny thing is, if it's a V, you would say F. So technically, in German, now you're saying fuck. So if you spelled it with the F, you could just go no 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 no.
Right.
Ich bin ein Deutscher.
Ich Berliner.
Ich bin ein Berliner. But still, I mean, there is a donut called a Berliner, but like,
Have you seen
Anyway.
that thing that was taught? Never mind, I don't remember. I was going to talk about it, and then I was hoping my brain would produce.
Don't
You ever
hate
start
that?
start
Yes,
something, you're like,
all
I'm
the
gonna tell you
time.
something, and just hope to God that my brain brings all the
Yep.
details to the forefront when I get this out of my mouth,
Oh,
and then you go, never mind. I can't.
nope.
Nope,
I normally try to save it, and then I get off topic, and everybody's like, "My God, why do we talk to this?
Why
this
don't we
woman?"
talk to this person? Why do
Yeah,
you
like I
listen to
don't.
this podcast? What's
I
wrong with you
don't.
people?
They're bored on Thursday because they've been quarantining. Come next
Nothing
year, the
better to
village.
do.
Yeah.
Not in the mood? Watch Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. In the mood? Watch Horseshoes and Hand Grenades while you're doing the boogie.
I love how you call it boogie.
Ain't gonna
I
boogie
walked
down.
out. I won't tell on Jacob. Never mind. I can confirm that the village is being renamed, said Andrea Holzner, the mayor of Holsdorf, the municipality where the village is located. I really don't want to say anything more. We've had enough media frenzy about this in the past. English-speaking tourists have been increasingly flocking to Vucking for a photo up next to an interest sign bearing the village's name. Some even captured themselves striking lewd poses in front of the marker for social media, right in the Vucking butthole.
That was well done. Well done.
Signposts have been reportedly stolen, prompting authorities to install new ones with concrete to deter theft. A map from 1825 bore the village name of Woking, but some experts believe the name dates back to the 11th century. You guys are just shitting on history, jerk weasels. I said it with the B sub. That doesn't count. Nah.
I don't know why they wouldn't be so into this. Like, when they change the name, nobody's gonna go, and then they won't get their tourist points.
You know what? You should be touristing right now. Keep your touristy butt at home.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't
Freaking
go there.
Instagram dweebs.
Stay inside, you buttholes.
They're all like white 20-year-olds, like white 20-year-old chicks with like thin gold necklaces and like the stupid short haircuts. Like you all look the same. You're all doing the same thing. You're not unique. Sit down.
No, they're influencers, influencing
The
each
jarhead
other
F.
to do the same
So
thing.
So stupid. I have not been on Instagram in so long. I don't even know why it's on my phone anymore.
You're in mom zone now. There is no social media presence, and Facebook
Well, I
owns
thought it was stupid
Instagram
before.
anyway. You did
Right.
think it was
I
stupid before
actually
that.
I used to when Facebook bought and stuff, I'm just like, peace.
If you buy an Oculus virtual headset
Exchange.
device, you have to have a Facebook login to use it now. Which, if anything, tells me that that's the one I'll never buy. Is the Oculus headset, because I'm not going now. Granted, I have a Facebook, but I don't want them in places where I don't feel like they're relevant. Like, why would I let face? It's like going to your bank account and going, "I'd like to use the Facebook login, please." Like, no.
The Google my account.
Like, I don't want
Google
my.
my Google.
I love the idea of authenticating with other services. I think it's great. I think it takes a lot of the load off of smaller developers who want to have a little app and they don't want to deal with the security of your password. But I
Oh, I
also
never thought about that.
think that it needs to be limited. Like, I don't want it everywhere. I don't want to buy a piece of hardware, an Oculus, that doesn't have anything to do with Facebook in essence, and have it tied to Facebook. Um,
Yeah.
and if you give me the option, honestly, I do the sign in with Apple if I can, because it gives them an anonymized email that it then links to your email, so they don't ever have your actual email address. So
Oh,
it
that's
uses
cool.
this anonymized email that then forwards all the stuff to you in whatever email you want, which is super duper cool. Um, Granted, Apple like has all kinds of other Willy Wonka walrus stuff going on
Willy
in
Wonka
there.
Walrus, I remember that.
We miss you, Lil Will. But yeah, so there's I don't know why I'm talking about all this. I feel like that guy in Tropic Thunder who's talking all about the PlayStation. They're like, do you think any of us care? It's like, no, I just saying it just because I'm out here by myself talking.
Quarantine makes you dumb. I wonder if we've lost IQ points because of quarantine.
I know that I understand that the people around me care less for a lot of the things I want to say than I ever expected.
it's so it's so I think Steven and I like we need to catch the people in our lives at like good times, but we're excited when we're excited, and waiting for that good time is hard because we'll forget, and then it makes you feel alone and sad.
You have any idea how many times I apologize for saying words throughout the day? Because it's always at the
Oh.
wrong time. It's like, I know you're in the middle of something. I don't know why I bothered telling you that. Because you've already got a lot on your mind. I'm just going to go upstairs now.
Oh, that's the saddest thing ever.
Yeah, it's not like that sounds terrible. But there is when you're also training a 5-year-old how to be a person. Then your husband comes down and is like, "Let me tell you about why the PlayStation 5 is hard to find." Like, why is this important to anyone other than me at that very moment?
See, that's why the Discord is there.
That's why. Yes. Oh my gosh. Without Discord, I would die. I would die. It is my outlet. That is my out. Like I have lots of stuff to work do, and I talk about things with people at work, and it's a lot of great times. But then I have this offshoot, wonderful cluster of dorks in Discord where I could be like, "Burbity, burbity, 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 bur," and they're like, "I will reply to that with thoughts." I'm like, yes,
Cluster of dorks. That was beautiful. Wonderful cluster of dorks.
that's what they are, and they love it. And
Do we have a document that people can drop their addresses in for cards?
oh,
Okay, can
Christmas
we just
card.
yeah.
It's real late to be
Oh,
trying to get
what I
Christmas
wanted
cards.
the what I so World Wildlife, WWF, but not the wrestling people.
Yeah,
The panda people sent me like, you know how they'll send you like send us money and we'll send you a bear or whatever. I'm like, I will donate to you. Like, they'll give me a gift because then I can't write it up. But they sent me the name sticker things for your envelope. What are address labels?
that's
But
it.
Mister, like Mister Ashley Field, and I'm like, I am using these when I mail them to the dorks because they're the cutest labels. They're like these giant, adorable, shiny Christmas labels. I'm like, don't care. It's funny. I'm gonna be Mr. Ashley Field. I'm gonna be
Don't you
who the
love
NRA thinks I am.
the NRA? I love my NRA letters. They're so great. I like with the sound they make when I drop them in the recycling bin on the way in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, they don't even make it inside. I'm like, stop wasting trees, you a-holes.
They don't make it inside. They go directly into the recycling bin. Bloop, boop, boop, boop. And it's fine by me. I'm not even gonna apologize.
No.
But yeah, I don't know
Use
about
it
Christmas
for you
cards.
you should save those for the burninators. Like
Kindling.
when you burn a
Yeah,
fire. Yeah.
that's a
That's what
good
we do.
point. And Ross Simmons catalogs. I'll
It's not
save all
my
those.
fault.
Get 2
I
a
bought
week.
one thing when I was living like in Wake Forest.
You still had your address as our house, so I'm like, I get Ross Simmons for every two every week. I really am. Next year, I'm going to save them up in a box. I'm going to give them to you for Christmas, all of them.
How I've went and I've changed my address like 15 times. Like I don't know how to fix it.
There is no way. It's just a relentless assault. Just going to
Good
continue coming
call.
to us. No, it's really not that important to me. I
Be like,
laugh every
if
time
you
I get one
ever,
out.
huh?
I laugh every time I get one out of the mailbox. So it's really okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. But what you should worry about is tomorrow, the charity stream. Be there, 8 a.m. It's going to be a blast, and I need to go to bed. Ashley needs to go to bed so we can all wake up and have fun at the charity stream and not die. And be
Yes.
like, I'm so tired, I can't breathe.
5:30 sucks.
Yeah, it does. It does. I remember those 5:30s. I remember just
Do
desperately
they grow
wanting to
out
sleep
of the
in.
5:30? Like it's 5
Oh
because
yeah.
he's the only baby that wakes up at 5. Everybody else is like, yeah, they get up about 8. I wish they'd sleep in a bit more. And I'm like, I wish you'd get a hernia.
No, they do. If Sam's 5, he wakes up at 7 now. But I mean, he also doesn't go to bed till 8:30 or close or between 8:30 and 9 he'll
I
fall
mean,
asleep.
last
So
night he woke up at 8:30 and stayed up the entirety of your show, and I didn't get to watch it. And I'm like, that's
yeah,
fine. This is
yeah,
fine.
they'll
Everything
they'll
is
they'll,
fine.
they'll eventually grow out of it. But you trade evenings for mornings. You do a little bit of a juggle process, and then they do weird stuff like they sleep longer than you think they're going to, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're finally on this. This is great. And 2 weeks after you finally figure it out, they're like, they screw it all up again, and they wake up at a dumb
They
time. And
teething or going through a leap or yeah.
you spend your whole existence trying to crack the code. Like, what did we do yesterday that made this work? Let's do that all over again. And it has nothing to do with it. It's just they don't operate like normal humans. So it's hard to say.
It's infuriating that people make money off of that for new parents about, pay us and we'll tell you what you're doing wrong and how to get your baby. It's so much bullshit. There's so much going on. There's leaps that they go through. They're teething, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're learning new stuff. Like just like write it out, get through it. And I've realized when you let go of the expectations of what they should be doing or shouldn't be doing, it's so much easier. I'm just like, okay, this is what. So people are like, "What's your schedule?" I'm like, I don't fucking know.
No.
Well, when does he normally nap? I don't. Who I
What's a
don't know.
normal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like me trying to figure that out will break my brain. So I will be there when I'm there.
I think Zafo said nobody has the answer. But what you should be doing
Right. Right. It's so like I want to punch them all in the face. And I'm like, and what they're saying is so like anti everything we've evolved to do as a species. Like, put your completely dependent infant on the opposite side of the house and just do this for 6 minutes and blah blah. I'm like, yeah, it should be and then whatever. I won't get into it because I'll piss people off, but you're doing it wrong because you let your baby cry.
the only people that really can tell you anything is the people that have had like 3 or 4 of them. Because the people that have had 3 or 4 of them, by the time they got to the 4th one, they forget it exists half the time, or their other children are doing anything, and they're just barely scraping by, and their children are surviving, and they're like, oh, they're fine. We got this. There's no big deal.
That's why I want to have Lulu Dallas multi kids because I'm just like that way they have buddies if we ever have to quarantine again.
Unless they hate each other.
Those bastards will love each other because
I had a buddy of mine I was talking about that. I was like, well, Sam had a friend. He goes, I didn't like my brother at all. I still don't like my brother. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough. Whatever you
That is
say.
true. I
Yeah,
have two
but
of them that I haven't talked to in like, I don't know, 6 years.
that's fine. Nobody's really crying over that. But yeah, do whatever you want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us tonight. As always, it's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. If you like the show, consider giving us a review. If you like what we say, consider following us on Twitter, Steve H&H. Just don't follow anything else because it's pointless. But you can follow me. I tweet. You can tip us if you want to
Tweety
make the
tweet.
show better. Tudorks.net/tip. Don't forget, if you want to give to the charity stream, we're $1,000 goal is what we're after. You can go to tudorks.net/toys and donate whenever, wherever. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. We'll leave the campaign open even after the stream is over, but you get big old shout outs and make us smile if you do it tomorrow. We'll be like, yeah.
Make little kitties, especially this year. This year's been rough on people.
Yeah. We if you have the capacity to help, this year's a good year to do it. And we'll leave you with these words of wisdom from Chanda Kochhar, who says, "Aim for the sky, but move slowly, enjoying every step along the way. It is all those
Because
little
it's only
steps.
60 miles. Oh, sorry. What was the rest?
It's all those little steps that makes the journey complete." Well, you guys have been awesome. We'll see you here tomorrow for the charity stream, and we're gonna give away some books, and it's gonna be great. Have a wonderful night. Bye. I don't want to see you next time on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.